Hello, and welcome to Assembly by Aiko. So this is your yoga basics video. Maybe you're starting out, maybe you've only done a couple of classes. It's also a great refresher to come back to. So let's start with some equipment. This is especially important if you're starting out, if you're quite stiff. You can always use a hand towel. So this is great to have lengthways. We can use this for some shoulder openers and for helping with stretching the legs, which I'll demonstrate in a bit. If you are a little bit more prepared and you have a strap, this is an even better option. So we want the straps that are taut. It's not a stretchy TheraBand. It's a specific yoga strap that's nice and strong. So yoga bricks. These are great as well for extra height, for extra support. If you're not ready to make the investment yet, you can also use things like cushions to sit underneath and even tin cans. So during lockdown, I was actually using, some tomato cans to get some extra height when I wasn't ready with my bricks. So you can find things around the house to suffice while you start out. So let's start. How do I use my towel? How do I use my strap? So let's start with the shoulder openers. There may be times in the class where I'm saying, interlace your fingers, roll the shoulders back. And you might be like, they don't even get there. So we still want to have those benefits of opening the chest, opening the front of the shoulders. So next time, you can try taking the towel. Make some space, get a nice strong grip and never breaking through the wrists. So nice long wrists, which will give you more space to roll the shoulders back and more space to take a forward fold and bring those hands up and over to get the benefits of those shoulder openers while making it still feel pleasant and still like you're in it. So it never should be ow, 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 ow. It's going to stretch, of course, but just be conscious of finding your limit. So that's how you can use the towel, and obviously you can sub in and using the strap instead of that. Another application is when we're on the floor and we're taking our forward folds. For example, when we're seated with one leg extended, you might have a bit of trouble getting up onto those sitting bones. So this is also where cushion, brick can come in handy. So really important, you'll hear me in class always talking about a long, long, tall spine. So the aim is to get as tall as you can, use that height to lift up. So we never want to be hunching, we want to be encouraging these open shapes. Now if that foot feels so far away, it's all good. Take your towel, take your strap, and then wrap it around the edge of the foot. So again, a reminder, we don't lock the elbows out and jam this way. Release into it and lift that spine up. So if you were here and you could tap along my back and along my stomach, you'd feel everything engage and everything nice and taut. So encouraging these kind of shapes, no good. We want to do the opposite. We want to lift the chin and chest, draw the shoulders down, and never lock the elbows out, always softening out to the side. So we create this strength through the spine, through the core, and we have this nice tall neck. And this is especially important if you think about all the times that we're spending head down on phones, head down on computers. So we want to rebuild that strength in the back of the neck. So this is a nice reminder, always long spine, always bent elbows, and use that strap to get the most out of your stretch and the most out of your sessions. So we'll come up and let's work on some of these standing poses. So even in your mountain pose, which might seem quite simple, standing up, I want you to think about grounding the feet down and finding that connection to rejoin the energy. So whether through the toes, the ankles, you zip all the way up through the legs. Imagine opening through the front of the hips and squeezing those glutes a little bit behind. When the palms are forward, it's not slouchy. I know no one's quite that bad, but we lift it up. So shoulders are down, palms are forward, and the chin is lifted. So even though I'm just standing here, it's a super, super active pose. So this is how you want to be when you're standing in your mountain pose. Good. If there's tightness in the back of your legs when you take your forward folds, for example, when we move through our flow, so we soften the knees to come low, we inhale to lift up as far as you can, bring the hands close, maybe they touch, and then exhale for your forward fold. If you're feeling tight in the hamstrings or in that back, soften the knees. So you can release and come all the way into your forward fold. So it doesn't matter if that torso is touching the thighs,
Come all the way into your forward fold so you can get the benefits of that beautiful stretch all through the spine, and then you drop the head down. So I say inhale, lift and look up. Again, you can keep the knees soft. Lifting up. The aim here is to have that flat back like you're serving a cup of tea on the spine. And then as you exhale, you come back down into your forward fold, and then every time you're releasing that head down. So it might feel like quite a strong nerve stretch through the back, through the spine, through the neck, but trust me, it's gonna get easier and easier. We come back up to stand. So inhale, lift those arms up, palms touch, look up, and then exhale, we draw those hands back down through heart center. A couple of the basic poses that you're probably going to experience in most of my classes and classes out of assembly. We'll start with the warriors. So first one, warrior one. It's going to look like front foot is going to be facing towards the front of your mat, and then the back foot is going to be at a 45-degree angle. So this is quite a challenging pose. If you've got those tight hips, little cheat sheet here, you want to move your foot towards the edge of the mat. So the more space you can put between that left and right foot, the more space you have for your hips to open up. So it is quite a strong and challenging pose. You want to imagine there's two headlights on the front of your hips and you're squaring them forward. There's also two headlights on your shoulders, so you want shoulders and hips nice and square. So we'll just start here with hands on hips so you can feel that alignment and just moving into it. You're going to sink a little deeper into that knee. You want it at 90 degrees. And then depending on what you're instructed, you might have the hands up. Chin is up, and that's our warrior one. So warrior two. The foot is staying towards the edge of the mat, pointed forward. Back foot is now parallel with the edge of the back of the mat. Front knee is bent 90 degrees, back leg is nice and strong. So you will really want to feel grounded through those feet. So give the toes a wiggle, get pressure into the toes. Yes. And then arms. It's called a warrior for a reason. They're nice and strong. So draw the shoulders down and you're looking forward. And you can make a bit of a fierce gaze. So look serious, look like your warrior and feel the strength in your pose. Yes, good. Nice, take a breath. So that's our warrior one and our warrior two. Next is our triangle. So depending on how you're feeling in your stability, you can always shorten your stance for your triangle. So if the legs from your warrior two feel too wide, it's okay. Bring it in, bring it shorter so you've got a smaller base to keep your balance. That's just fine. Now, alignment with the feet. My back foot is parallel with the edge of the mat. Left foot is perpendicular, pointing to the front of the mat. Imagine that heel is slicing through all the way to the middle of that arch. That's where you want your feet to be. So lift it up and then always drawing those abs together. Cinch it together. We lift the arms up and then you reach the fingertips forward, kick the right hip back. Imagine you're inside a sandwich press. So you're just sliding down in this side shape to get that beautiful side body stretch. Now, if you need to support on the leg, you don't hold onto the knee. We really want to protect and give those knees longevity. So either find yourself on the thigh or on the shin, or your handy brick or your handy tin can provide support this way. So you want to imagine shoulders are always coming down and that top hand is all the way in line with the bottom hand. So that's our triangle. Lifting it up. A lovely balance that I always love to do in pretty much most of my yoga classes is our tree pose. So little reminders on that. Balances. A lot of people can be really athletic but find the balance component quite hard. So some hints here. You want to find something in the room, in your space that's not moving. So bring your gaze onto that and let the gaze soften. Relax the face, relax the jaw, slow the breath down for your balances. We start by squeezing the knee in, and that sole of the foot is thigh or calf, or maybe the toes all the way down for stability, just never jamming against that knee. And a big thing to remember, I used to be guilty of this one, we don't sit into this hip. So we lift up and out of that supporting leg to get nice and tall. And again, we cinch the abs in. Hands can come to prayer. And then just release the shoulders down. And then maybe you want to practice this in the morning while you're waiting for your coffee to brew or your tea to brew. Just hanging out in the kitchen in your tree pose to build that strength, build that balance. Good, and then just releasing it down, giving a shake out. So some hints with our twists, whether you're taking a twist standing up, so we take it through a chair pose, hands come together. Now, it's easy to twist and think to go down and around, but what I want you to think about is always lifting up first and keeping that spine on a straight axis. So as you take your twist, instead of me looking around the corner this way, I'm going to press up, shoulders down, and then rotate. So you see the difference in this crunching shape, or making space and lifting and then bringing it around. So that's something to remember when you're taking your twists wherever, whether standing, whether on the mat, you want to lift up and then twist, not take it down and around. So there you have it, just a few little hints as we get started. I'll always keep the commentary going throughout all of our yoga classes, so just follow along, find your level, and just keep at it. Thank you so much. See you soon.